Okay, everybody, today what we're going to do is we're going to remove the acrylic from the bench of your ESB tanning bed. Now, this is the method that they describe in the owner's manual about pulling the acrylic out of the front of the bed, which enables you to leave the canopy and basically the whole bed intact. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the end caps and we're going to just simply loosen these screws a little bit. And the screws in the end cap are located specifically here, where you have the two on the very end that go into the side rail, and then there's going to be two here that go into the center supports that are in between the lamps. So we're just going to back these screws out almost about halfway on either side of the bed. So a cordless screwdriver helps with the Phillips tip on it. I'm going to trade it to him. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws here loose. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a flathead screwdriver and pry the black trim strip up here from the edge. Carefully just pull it away from this channel here. Okay, so then now right here is a really good spot to get your screwdriver in here, just to simply pry the plastic end cap away from the metal rail. So now that I got it pulled away, I'm going to let him do it on that side. We have a gap right here, and we have a gap right here. We can start to remove the acrylic. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the acrylic in here and maybe get a little space to pull just the edge up above the metal lip that's here on the side rail. So when I do that, I'm going to work it in sections like this so I don't slide my finger across that acrylic. You want to watch this edge because it'll be sharp. So we'll work down the edge, all the way down the edge of the bed, and then now it's free. And we can start to pull the acrylic out the front. Now it's a little caught in here, so I'm going to push it that way a bit. Pull it. There we go. And now it's starting to release right out the back. And I would just recommend trying to prevent from scratching the acrylic on these metal rails as you're pulling it out. But as you slide it out, you can support it over these rails with your hands. And there we go, actually. It fell right out. So now you can go in there, take your lamps out, replace them, clean it as needed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reinstall the acrylic into the bench through the front of the bed again. Now before we do this, I recommend that we take the end caps and close this gap to where it's maybe just about 1/8 of an inch. Okay? And then we're going to take the hardware and tighten it down just a little bit, because you want to have the channel here in the end cap that it slides into. You want to have it kind of more snug to accept the acrylic going back. Now before we start, we're going to need to pull this black trim strip out of the back and then set that aside. And if your hardware is tight and you got just a little bit, you might want a little less of a gap. And that, yeah, that's probably pretty good. We might need to tighten it down more, but we'll try it like that first here. It's going to act as a guide to slide the acrylic in. So we don't want to have it too loose. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the acrylic and we're going to evenly put it in, basically right here in the corners, into the channel of the end cap. So I'm going to get mine started right here in let him get his started. Okay, and then we're going to slide it down the channel. Now when you get to the spot where the metal support rails are, you're going to have to lift it up and slide it over. And it's important for us to both be even at the same time for what we're doing. So I'm going to come over here to the middle and lift it up over the center support rail while we push it in. And careful not to roll the lamps out of place. We're going to keep sliding it back, keeping it even, and get it up over the, careful not to pinch your fingers, yep, and then sit it down all the way to the back and let it keep right in place there. So that looks really good. Now, what we're going to do is go ahead and tighten down the hardware and get the trim strips back on. So I got these two screws, center support, and there. Let him do his side. Very good. So then what we do is with the acrylic trim strip, we take the long flat part and we push it down on top of the acrylic to open it up into the channel, push it all the way up against the end cap here, and then work it in small sections until you get to the other end. So I'll repeat the same thing for the back here, push it into the channel, butt it up against the end cap, and then start in small sections. And there you go, the acrylic is back in.